Welcome to episode 83, Caps that Actually Close at R2, where we look at how corrective action plans, often called CAPs, become the bridge between findings and lasting improvement. In many organizations, CAPs begin as paperwork and end as forgotten promises. At R2, however, the CAP process is a core demonstration of maturity. It shows that when a control gap or deficiency appears, the organization does not merely react, but learns, plans, and verify closure. A well-structured CAP transforms lessons into proof of governance. It closes the loop between discovery and prevention, turning every weakness into evidence of resilience. CAPs that close are not lucky. They are managed through structure, accountability, and documentation discipline. CAPs start with structure, specifically identifying the issue and its root cause. The issue defines what was observed, such as a missing log source or outdated policy, while the root cause explains why it occurred. Distinguishing the two prevents superficial fixes. For example, replacing a failed control without addressing the process that allowed it to lapse guarantees recurrence. Root cause analysis may reveal training gaps, unclear ownership, or insufficient automation. Writing these insights clearly turns the CAP from a repair note into a risk narrative. It ensures every remediation step directly targets the condition that allowed failure, not just its symptom. Every CAP must include a risk rating and deadline. The risk rating communicates urgency and potential impact, guiding prioritization. High-risk issues demand immediate containment, while moderate or low-risk ones can follow planned remediation windows. Deadlines convert intent into accountability, ensuring progress does not stall. For instance, a finding related to encryption key rotation might require resolution within 30 days, while a procedural update may allow 90. These timeframes align with organizational risk appetite and framework expectations. A well-scored CAP list tells leadership where exposure still exists and when each area will be safe again, providing both transparency and predictability. Ownership defines accountability in practice. Each CAP must name a responsible person, not a department. The owner coordinates tasks, monitors progress, and reports status until completion. Without ownership, even the best plans drift. For example, assigning security team as an owner dilutes accountability, but naming Alex Rivera, identity governance lead, ensures clarity. Owners also bridge communication between technical contributors and risk managers. They balance operational details with assurance expectations, keeping the CAP aligned with its stated goals. Ownership, in this context, transforms a document into a promise, one that leadership can monitor and measure. Interim safeguards and risk acceptance handle the gap between discovery and full remediation. Some issues cannot be fixed immediately. Systems may depend on vendor updates or contractual changes. Interim safeguards reduce exposure during that period, while risk acceptance documents that leadership understands and tolerates temporary risk. For example, disabling external access or increasing monitoring frequency can mitigate risk until permanent correction. Every interim measure should have an expiration date and a clear plan for removal once remediation completes. Transparent handling of interim controls shows that the organization manages, not ignores, known weaknesses with both realism and responsibility. An effective CAP includes detailed milestones and evidence expectations. Milestones break large actions into achievable steps, each producing tangible proof. For instance, updating an access control process might include milestones for drafting a new policy, training staff, and validating permissions. Each milestone generates evidence such as meeting minutes, screenshots, or sign-off forms. This stepwise structure prevents long periods of silence and allows partial credit for incremental progress. It also keeps stakeholders informed about trajectory rather than just endpoints. In essence, milestones turn a distant goal into a measurable journey toward closure. Verification is where CAPs prove their worth. Once actions are completed, they must be tested to confirm the issue no longer exists and that new safeguards work as intended. Verification can include rerunning scans, reviewing logs, or conducting peer inspections. Artifacts such as screenshots, reports, or revalidated metrics become the evidence of closure. For example, confirming that a missing system log now appears in the centralized platform validates technical success. Verification by someone independent from the implementer strengthens credibility. This step moves CAPs from self-assertion to objective confirmation, essential for R2 level assurance. Quality assurance closure and sign-off provide formal completion. Before declaring a CAP closed, QA reviewers ensure that all milestones are met, verification is documented, and evidence aligns with the original finding. They also check that no new risks emerged during remediation. Closure sign-off typically requires signatures from the control owner, risk manager, and, when applicable, executive oversight. This structure creates a verifiable audit trail. For instance, a CAP may only close once both technical testing and management review approve the outcome. Proper QA ensures closure means resolution, not administrative convenience. Preventing recurrence requires integrating lessons learned into process improvements. Each CAP should end with reflection. What systemic change can prevent similar issues in the future? This could include revising procedures, automating checks, or updating training. For example, after a failed backup test, adding automated verification to the daily schedule ensures ongoing compliance. Process updates turn reactive corrections into proactive stability. When recurrence prevention becomes part of CAP closure, the organization shifts from patching problems to evolving practices, a defining feature of mature assurance programs. Status updates to stakeholders maintain transparency throughout remediation. Regular communication, through dashboards, meetings, or email summaries, keeps leadership informed of progress and challenges. For instance, a monthly CAP review might highlight successes, delays, and dependencies requiring executive attention. Open reporting prevents unpleasant surprises at audit time and builds confidence that remediation is under control. Stakeholders appreciate honesty more than perfection. Acknowledging barriers invites support, while silence breeds doubt. Structured updates demonstrate that CAP management is an ongoing conversation, not a hidden cleanup operation. Aging CAPs require escalation paths to prevent stagnation. As deadlines approach without closure, responsibility must rise through the governance hierarchy. Escalation can include reminders, leadership intervention, or formal risk acceptance reviews. For example, a 90-day overdue CAP might trigger automatic escalation to the Chief Information Security Officer for resolution planning. Aging analysis identifies patterns, revealing where systemic obstacles persist. Escalation demonstrates that inaction carries consequence, reinforcing the organization's intolerance for lingering risk. By managing overdue items decisively, teams maintain program credibility and assessment readiness. Integrating CAPs into the program roadmap ensures remediation efforts align with broader strategy. Closed actions should inform future investment decisions, risk rankings, and control redesigns. For example, recurring CAPs around identity management might justify a roadmap initiative for automated provisioning. Integration also prevents CAPs from becoming isolated corrections. They become inputs for continuous improvement and budget planning. Tracking CAP outcomes alongside other metrics shows leadership where assurance work translates into lasting capability. A roadmap tied to CAP results turns compliance maintenance into enterprise learning. Durable, auditable remediation is the hallmark of CAPs that actually close. A successful CAP does more than resolve a finding. It strengthens governance and demonstrates organizational integrity. When structure, ownership, verification, and transparency come together, CAPs become proof of accountability in action. Assessors see not just fixes, but systems of improvement. Leadership gains confidence that the organization responds to weakness with precision and follow-through. Over time, CAP discipline becomes cultural muscle memory, ensuring that every problem ends with closure, and every closure builds trust in the resilience of the program itself.